shopping for an Argo in central Alberta, head over to Argo Motorsports in Edmonton. They have specialist sales and service professionals for all types of Argo XTVs, as well as many other exciting motorsports vendors. You can also check them out on their Facebook page where they post special deals and interesting content. And don't forget to tell them Esme and I sent you. So one of the questions I get asked quite a lot is, how do I keep safe while I'm out winter camping? How do I ensure that my machine's going to start and I'm going to be able to get back home eventually in the morning? So I'm going to show you some of the equipment that I actually carry with me. So one of the biggest things I carry, most important, is actually a lithium battery booster. One of the things you're going to hit more often than not is a flat battery because of the cold. It's minus 16 today, which is not super cold, but if I did have a flat battery, this thing would hopefully get me started. That's one of the first things I would carry. Secondly, I have one of these cheaper Stanley toolkits. So I have a full set of sockets and screwdriver bits. I can change a plug, I can do most things with this. That's pretty useful. Carry some oil just in case something happens to the engine. I need to top it up, or there's an oil leak or whatever. I can use this. This is also really good for getting a fire started. If you're in a tight spot and you need to get it going right away, oil is a really good fire starter. So other things I carry under the seat in the Argo. So this is actually for tightening the chains, the idler chains. So I just keep this in here all the time. This is a strap, so I can winch to a tree without harming the tree. It's also good for pulling people out. That's very useful. Keep a couple of pieces of wire. Quite a few years ago, I had to bypass a starter on an older, it's actually on a vehicle, just a car. I had to harvest some of the wire from the lighting loom because I didn't have anything with me. So I always carry pieces of wire just because you don't know what you need. It's always useful. I keep some selection of wrenches. It's just a small link that I can actually attach to. This is a small snatch block which doubles the power of the winch, which is very useful. It's a wrench for my chainsaw, but that's useful for other things too. Obviously duct tape. A couple of master links for the chains in the Argo, just in case. This is a tire puncture kit. Allows you to fix a puncture. It also has some CO2 cartridges that you can actually inflate a tire with. This is my SOG small shovel entrenchment tool right here. It's great for small things, digging stuff out, digging fire pits is what I tend to use it for. Set of jumper cables, just in case other people are having problems, I can actually give them a jump. This is actually my remote for the winch. This is the big one. And some chain lube. Again, I can use this for fire starting if need be. So with all that gear, I can certainly MacGyver something together to actually get me out of trouble. The biggest problem you're going to have if you winter camp or if you're in a remote location is starting the engine of your machine. I tend not to go super far. I'll travel a long ways, but when I come to camp, I'm always going to camp within, let's say 4 kilometers to the nearest kind of road. So I know roughly how long it's going to take me to get out. If I need to actually hit a road and flag someone down, or make a camp there until someone comes by. So I try and keep safe that way. As far as animal safety, I don't leave any food around at all. So if it is food, it's typically dry stuff, and I try and keep it in scent-proof containers and just keep it out of the way. If I eat anything over the fire, the scraps of the food will go straight in the fire. So I try not to attract any animals, and so far that's worked over the last kind of 8 years, I guess. So I've never really been bothered by animals. The only animals that actually come and visit me often are the camp robins, and they'll come down, and they're very curious birds. If you have any food hanging around, you know, they're straight into that. They're not afraid of people, and they're very very interested in food, that's for sure. One other important thing that I always carry with me is my first aid kit. I do keep a small first aid kit in my pouches, just for cuts, abrasions, things like that, easy to get to. I actually watched a video recently where someone was recommending what to put in a hunting first aid kit, and I was shocked and disappointed, put it that way. I'm not a trained medic or anything like that, but I have received lots of medical training, especially being in the military, for severe wounds, and I know roughly what I need to get done. And every first aid kit should contain a few of these things. I'm not going to go through my whole kit, but if you do have a first aid kit, if you are handling axes, guns, anything that can do serious damage to yourself, then you have to carry something like an Israeli bandage, and you have to also carry some blood clot. These are, in my opinion, mandatory. If you don't carry those things, you're going to be in a world of trouble if you have a severe wound, because a bandage, a regular bandage or a band-aid, or trying to make stuff out of a piece of cloth or whatever, it's not going to cut it. You've got a very limited amount of time to stem blood flow, and you don't have a great amount of time to do that. So you need something quick, you get it on there, and you take care of yourself. So this is obviously my number one piece of equipment that I always carry. I'm a big subscriber to the rule of 3. So the rule of 3 is you have 3 minutes to deal with a first aid incident, like a big trauma. You have 3 hours to survive in cold or inclement weather. You have 3 days that you can survive without water, and 3 weeks without food. So these are the extremes of what our bodies can tolerate. And if you don't have something like a good first aid kit that you can rely on and get to within 3 minutes, to, you know, if I miss with the axe, I've cut my leg badly, I've literally got 3 minutes if I hit an artery before I'm dead. And if I can get to this thing within 30 seconds, get a bandage on there, I've got a much better chance of survival. You only have a certain amount of time during the adrenaline rush, and after that you're likely to pass out, or some people are. So you can't guarantee that, hey, I'm going to just put something on and hold pressure, because you might not be able to stay conscious long enough. So you need to get something on there that's tight, it's going to stop the blood flow, and you're going to survive. So these are number one things that you need to take with you for sure. Like I say, the video that I watched, it was a hunting first aid kit, and it didn't contain any major trauma components, which I was just like, no, that's someone giving bad advice right there. I'll make another quick point as well. There was a change in the military doctrine. I think it was back in the 70s, maybe 60s, 70s. Before that time, military weaponry was designed to kill people, basically. And you shoot a guy with a 30-06 or 303 British, you're pretty much going to kill him pretty instantly. What they realized after a time was a dead soldier doesn't take any resources. What they found is, after the Vietnam War, for instance, that a wounded soldier takes up to 4 people to recover him. So you need medics, you need to get the guy to a safe place, you need to treat medically, you need to evac back to wherever. So a wounded soldier is a much bigger resource in military terms than a dead soldier. So most military weaponry these days, the 5.56mm, is not necessarily designed to kill you. They don't have, for instance, a expanding bullet. They have a jacketed bullet, so it's designed to wound and not to kill necessarily. So my point is, with hunting weapons, you have to use expanded bullets to actually shoot game, and those bullets can spread out from, say, a 30 caliber, so it's 0.3 of an inch. They can expand out to half an inch, something like that. If you're hit with a hunting round, you're not going to do well. That's going to do a lot of damage to people. It's not like a military round where it's more likely to maybe hit a bone and bounce, or shatter the bone and pass through. Hunting rounds aren't designed to do that. They're designed to hit something solid and expand and just tear its way through. So if you actually hit in a hunting accident, your outcome is not great. That's for sure. Anyway, I digress slightly. I just thought I'd throw that in there just for a bit of background. So in summary, here are my 3 golden rules. Number 1, don't take unnecessary risks when alone. Have fun, but don't have a hold my beer and watch this attitude. Simple mistakes can have dramatic consequences whilst being alone. Number 2, plan for the worst and hope for the best. Think of the worst possible outcome and how to deal with it, but don't let worry overtake the enjoyment. For instance, wet feet in very cold temperatures left untreated can lead to frostbite and loss of toes or worse. But don't let it stop you from crossing an icy shallow stream. Think, if I break through and get wet, how do I deal with it? And do I have the correct resources? Number 3, practice with your survival and safety gear. Don't expect you know how some gear will work in the field by reading the packaging. If it's a consumable item, I'll buy 2 or more of the same thing and take one out of the packaging and try it out, and understand how this particular product actually works. So I hope you found this video interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and until next time, take care. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, leave me a comment, maybe a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.